Well, I had a great time finding America, despite a bit of a wrinkle. Well, welcome to Finding America. It is really great to see you here. Well, I did get out this past weekend, and after having a really great first hunt, unfortunately, on my way home, my vehicle started having problems. I was heading up the mountain, and it just kept bogging down, but I did make it home. But unfortunately, it pretty much canceled out all the detecting I had planned for the rest of the weekend. Now, I've been putting a lot of miles on this car, doing these videos for the channel, so I was bound to have a problem sooner or later. So now all I'm doing is waiting to get the car into the shop and hopefully see what's wrong with her. So I decided this past Friday I wanted to go back to two of my favorite latest permissions. So I went back to the empty field next to the cemetery. I don't know, I just can't resist that place. Every time I go there, I keep finding more. So once I got there, I broke out my beloved Minelab Equinox 800 that I got from our friends at Kellyco, and I started finding things right off the bat. Well, we got a pretty decent rain from the leftover from Hurricane Ida, and the ground is pretty soft. Not too bad. We didn't get a tremendous amount of rain, about an inch, but it definitely helped. Now I was getting a 1920 signal, and just going really low and slow. And I wanted to show it to you because it's kind of cool. You can see the edge of it. Hopefully you can see it right there. But I've got some kind of green penny sticking out. So I thought I would pop it. We'll see what it is. And it looks like I have, probably an early weedy here. So not too bad. Let me get it toothpicked. That was about 4 or 5 inches down. And we'll see what date we have. Well, there it is, and I'll tell you, I have found a lot of these here at the 1919 Lincoln Weedy, and I think that's the 4th or 5th 1919 I've gotten from here. So very cool. First target of the day. I always like it when it turns out to be a decent coin. Well, this was a very mixed signal. It was bouncing all the way from 14 to 19. Pulled out 3 huge nails and started to get more of a high tone in there about 18, 19. Dug down and found an old lipstick tube cap. Now, this is one I've never found before. Let's see if I can get in on this. I think it says AGRA and then lilac, and I think patent on the bottom. I'm going to soak this one in apple cider vinegar and see if I can find some information on this one, because I have not found this type before, this brand. So pretty cool. Well, I was getting a nice 2122, dug down and got a cap. I thought it was going to be another talcum cap, but it's not. This time it's a salt shaker cap, which definitely fits right in with the picnic theme of this spot. So, another interesting old find. Well, this was kind of a funny signal. It was giving me a really high tone. I actually thought I was looking at a larger denomination coin, but I dug down about 8 inches and I got an early weedy. And what's funny about it, last time in the last video, I got a 1916 that I thought had a Denver mint mark, but it ended up being a Philadelphia. Well, this time I definitely got the 1916D. If only it had been a Mercury. You could have heard me hooting and hollering. But this is a really pretty coin, so I will definitely take it. Look at the green on that side. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Well, thanks to everyone watching last week, we have yet another mystery solved this week. You might remember a very interesting piece that had me a bit stumped that I showed in my last episode called Finds Pouch Full. Well, thankfully, Wade Hendricks and Dennis the High Rev were watching the episode last week, and they let me know at pretty much the same time down in the comments what this piece was. It turns out that this piece was part of a wall-hanging match safe that probably hung next to a fireplace or an old wood-burning stove. So thanks again, guys, for that help in adding a little bit of light to that mystery find. Well, I decided to put the big monster on and just see what it would find out here. I've already gotten a bunch of signals in areas that I've already hunted with the 11-inch, so appears to be doing a pretty decent job. Got a 12 signal, sometimes an 11. 8 inches down, pulled out this very nice early shotgun shell head stamp, and this is going to be a U.S. cartridge company. It's a 12 gauge and it's a Climax series. So, very old one. I'll get the date nailed down when I get home. Well, big coil. Got this one at a 12, about 8-9 inches down. It was way down there. Finally got it out. I thought it was just a piece of junk metal, but then I don't know, something about it caught my eye, and I started brushing it off, and I think it's some type of a flower. I think I can sort of see a post on the back. Might have been an earring, an ornament, some type, I don't know, but I'll work on it when I get home. It's definitely an interesting looking piece. Well, the 15 snips out another one. I've been over this area countless times. It was sort of a mixed signal. I pulled a couple nails out, and then about 8-9 inches down, I pulled out an early weedy. This one's a little tough to read, but I think it's a 1920. And happy to have that. That was a tough signal to get. So very impressive, and as always, love using that big 15-inch coil. I'll tell you what, big coil does it again. Sound like a broken record, I know, but I'm always amazed. Not only by the Equinox, which is just such an amazing machine, but it becomes even more amazing because of the versatility you can have with it by changing the coils, changing programs and everything. But this one was giving me a pretty good high tone, bouncing from 22 to 26. I'm gonna tell you, almost 10, that's gotta be 10 solid inches, all the way down here. Look at that. That's going to be a Model T valve stem retaining nut. One more for the collection, but that's very impressive to get it that far. That's amazing. Well, it also set some time aside to go back to that late 1800s house permission that I have. I don't know what it is about the place, but every time I go there, it seems I peel back another layer of history from the site. And every time I go back there, I just end up finding more. Well, I mean, just running with that small coil, hunting in Park 2, sensitivity is up at 23, and the response time is, I think I got it at 6. Trying to work through all the trash and tons of signals in here. It's getting a little 12, dug down, and I got a nice little suspender clip. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's an old shed. You might remember it was in one of my thumbnails about 4 or 5 weeks ago. But I'm just sort of coming back over here and just really working close to it with the small coil. Well, I'll tell you what, it's going along here, got a 12 signal. I could feel with my digger was going to be big iron, and it actually was, literally. Check this out. I love finding these, and this one Oh yeah, this one has some writing on it. It's a big flat iron. Well, it's a heavy one too. Isn't that awesome? I love finding these, and I think this is a Knoxville brand. I found one or two of these before, so that is just awesome. Well, ironing years ago was a very difficult chore, and it definitely took not only some hard work, but also some learned skill as well. Well, those early irons were heavy, and they had to be heated on those old cast iron stoves. And you had to have two of them at least going at once so you could replace the one you were using once it started to cool down. Now, the very early irons had a one-piece handle. Now, in order to use them though, you had to use a cloth or a pad. Eventually they came out with one that had a wooden dowel on the handle. But finally, in 1870, they invented an iron with a detachable handle, and that prevented a lot of burns while using these old irons. Now, you really had to stay on top of things to know when exactly that iron was hot enough to use. You needed it hot enough to iron the wrinkles out of the cloth, but not too hot, or else it would scorch and burn the cloth. Now, these irons had to be kept perfectly clean, sanded, and polished at all times. And they also had to be lightly oiled, as any rust that might develop on the iron would instantly ruin that white shirt. So the next time you dig one of those old flat irons out of the ground, you'll know exactly how much work it actually took to use one. And I also got a bonus find. Look what popped out. I don't know if it's a little nail polish bottle or perfume, but it has a really nice design on it there, vertical lines. Very cool. Another nice little bottle too. So that was a heck of a haul. Well, still working my way around this old shed. Got a 14 and got an old file. You kind of expect to see that near a work shed. So pretty cool old item there too. I'm going to keep on working it. I'm just going really slow, inch by inch. And yeah, I don't know. I just always enjoy hunting that way, especially around these areas that I've already gone over with the 11-inch coil. And somehow I missed this one. It must have been laying a certain direction, and the angle I was coming just didn't really hit it. Okay, well, I'm working the area between the back door here and the old shed here. It's about a 10-foot section between the two. Lots of garbage, lots of concentrated signals, but that's what you want to look for. Especially in a place that's been hunted a lot, you want to go to the places where they just didn't want to be bothered by all the signals. And so I'm just working my way through it. Got a 12, and I got a really nice old target here. Now it's a cap to a squeeze tube, but it's a very early Colgate company. You can see the C and then the CO. Now it's going to be about 1900 to 1915, right in that era. And I love finding these. Very cool piece, and happy to have that. I was getting a nice high tone on this one, about 6 inches down, and I got a nice early makeup compact. Pretty cool design on it too. Reminds me of the Richard Hud nut. I hadn't found one with this ring or circle off to the side. That's pretty cool. You can see the hinge there. And the rest of it's missing, but that's a nice old piece. It's probably going to be in the 20s or 30s, so I'll get it cleaned up a little more when I get home, put it in apple cider vinegar, and it'll look real nice then. Well, it seems that this was the Colgate family. Here's an old 40s to 50s tube of Colgate Ribbon Dental Cream. If you've seen the videos from this place before, I've pulled probably about 20 of these out so far. And but just thought I'd show you that one since I got that much older Colgate tube cap earlier. Well, I was getting a mixed signal. There was a lot of iron in here, and then there was this in here too. And it's kind of a bent up piece of metal, but it has a design on it. And it was a container for something, I think, maybe a lid to an old tin. I found something similar in this field, so I don't know if it's the other half of what I found before or something different, but I'll get it cleaned up later, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, as it turned out, I had actually found the other matching half a couple months ago at that very same spot. Well, after cleaning the second half, I quickly realized that I'd found a match safe from the Victorian period. Well, match safes were extremely popular, and they were designed to hold your matches. And the reason being is because early matches weren't the safest things around. And on more than one occasion, they've been known to ignite themselves just by rubbing against each other in one's pockets. Now, I have found a few of these old match safes over the years, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you the very first one and the very best one that I ever found. This one was a solid sterling silver Victorian era match safe that I found during the first year of my metal detecting when I was just 12 years old. Alright, got a 15 on this signal. I'm out in the field behind the 1800s house. I am not at the empty field at the cemetery. This one made me laugh. Yeah, I think you're kind of understanding what I'm getting to. Look what's in the hole here. I can't escape them. They follow me everywhere now. Yep, that's a Model T valve stem. Pretty much complete. The flanges are broken. The retaining nuts there. I can't believe it. Well, it's almost like seeing an old friend again. Well, this signal was jumping all over the place, but I was getting a repeatable signal from a few directions, and giving me about a 14, 15. Dug down, and something I always like to see in the hole, an old railroad spike. And I'll tell you what, that must have been under some kind of pressure to bend that like that. So, well, if you're a regular viewer, you know why I like to find these. Yep, cool train picture coming up now. Well, my hunt definitely got cut short this past weekend, but I really hope you enjoyed watching this episode. Now, all I have to do is see whether this auto repair is going to cost me an arm and a leg or not. And I'm hoping to get it fixed soon, but there is a chance that I will not be able to have a video next week. But I will keep you posted on the community page of this channel, as well as on my Facebook page. Now, 9/11 is coming up in just a couple days. And in honor of our first responders, I have some amazing historical photos coming up in just a few seconds. And you're not going to want to miss these. And remember, it's history that makes a find a treasure. And I cannot wait to see you, hopefully, next week on Finding America.